Welcome to the Micro HOA that's not afraid to act like a 3-year-old and ask why. That's right, it's time for Who Are You? This week, our +1 superhero and our +1 sidekick are going to get prodded and divulge their inner secrets. It's time to ask why.
All right, welcome to Network Roundtable. Who Are You show, and we are going to have fun. The green room has been most interesting as we get into this exercise with two guys that have been laughing heartily at the idea of being on a show that is subtitled The Softer Side of Business. So we're going to jump in. We're going to get to know our +1 superhero, Dave, and our +1 sidekick, Terry. A little bit different and maybe a little bit better. We'll just see how this works. So, Dave, you ready?
Born ready, man.
Okay. Dave, who are you?
Okay, well, I gave this some thought, obviously, coming in here, and so then it's professionally, personally, and I suppose you could answer that in a lot of ways, but if I had to nail it down to something basic and simple, I'm going to go with being a passionate person. I think it's the core of pretty much everything I do from there. You know, from me on outwards, personally, professionally, passion is probably the cornerstone of who I am.
Why are you a passionate person?
I guess that's a tough one. Are you born with passion? Is it something that some people have, others don't? I think at the end of the day, I find myself being passionate in the sense because I don't like to be half-assed at anything in life. I don't like to, if I apply myself to something, I want to apply myself 100%. I mean, I don't want to start something and not finish it. When I do something, I want to go 100 miles an hour, do everything I can. So regardless if it's music, martial arts, SEO, or anything I do, I think that's what comes through it, and that's what drives the passion.
Why?
Okay. That one, I guess, gets trickier. There's parts of you, maybe it's a fear of failure. I guess maybe a lot of people have that. I'm not so sure if that's what really pushes me to go 1,000 miles an hour. And sometimes, that passion is, you're feeding just to feed your kids and to make a living or whatever. And I don't think that I want to approach anything in my life, if it's someone else's business even, by not applying myself fully and 100% and driving as hard as I can to succeed at something.
Okay, and if you thought that was hard, here we go again. Why?
Wow, without using the same one again, there's the trick. Because I guess you only live once, and I can look around and every day of the week you can watch the news or something else, and there's people younger than me dying, children, and life is finite. Life can end at any moment, and I don't think if it's a car crash or a deathbed, I don't want to ever feel that I didn't do everything I could within the time I had here. So I guess that's the root of it all, is that life is finite, and I want to apply as much as I can to every moment of life.
Okay. All right, I'm going to let you off easy. I could ask you why again, but I'm going to turn it over to Kristen and let her ask our 4 questions and maybe more. Kristen, take it away.
Okay. David and Harry, who are you?
Who's she talking to?
It was jittery there. Yeah, you kind of were doing the robot on us. Try again.
Yeah, try that again. We know what the question is she's going to ask, so I'll translate before she even says it. She's going to ask you, Dave, who are you, just in case we can't make out what she says again. So, Kristen, try that again. No. Okay. Well, Kristen's now asking you, who are you from the sidelines? Oh.
Wow. From the ethereal world in space. There she is. She's back. Okay. Let's see. Who am I? Let's go with artistic. We can go with artistic, certainly, because I think there's an element of art in most of the passions I have. If it's martial arts or music or even business, and I consider a lot of what we do to be an art form. So I'll go with artist on this time around.
Why?
Again, that almost goes back to the beginning. If I'm not sure if you're born with it, did it come from the parents? I don't think either my parents were particularly artistic by nature. I think it's just, if it's looking at a beautiful scene in nature, listening to something nice in music, I've just always gravitated myself towards artistic endeavors and things that require creativity.
Why?
Your job is hard, isn't it? I want your job, you guys. Come on. Hey, we're doing a show like this. That's it. Okay, so where was I so I could follow up on that?
Into this too. So I know it's not easy.
Yeah, I don't really know. Where does one find a desire for beauty? I think it again comes back to the passion element, in the sense that to be an artist, I think to be an artist you also have to commit yourself, and you have to make sacrifices, and you have to work towards something. Artistry isn't something that comes easy. Well, I guess some people are born with it, but I think most of us, it's sweat equity. So I think it's something that also appeals to me because of the effort it takes to achieve it. Oh my God, your internet is lovely. Were you asking possibly why again? I'm just
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here with that one. Again, why? So I could turn this around, since I was talking about art in itself. Why is art something that needs to be worked towards? Aha. And again, the idea, what is it, 10,000 hours to become proficient at anything? It's a challenge. It's something that's, again, it's not handed to you. It's not, you have to go out and work towards it. And if it's my children or anyone else, I tend to always try to lean on people and express to people that you're not going to be good at anything in a day. That it takes and requires effort. I think artistry is like that.
Thank you.
All right. So now, I'm hoping that Terry's got this figured out. It's pretty complex how this all works. But Terry, it's your turn to ask the 4 questions of your +1 superhero.
Okay, thanks. David, who are you?
Hi, my name's Dave. I'm from the SEO Dojo. I hang out with Terry Van Hook. No, let's see, I'm an SEO geek.
Cool. Why?
I guess because of Bill Slosky, I totally blame him. It's all his fault. But I guess at the end of the day, to me, again, SEO is something that's challenging. SEO is something that takes work. It's not a push-button activity. It's something that takes more work, I think, than a lot of people give it credit for, as you would well know, as far as patents and other things of that nature.
Why?
Because it's not that big red button. You have to work at it. Did you have to study? You have to read. And then you have to apply yourself with critical thinking, or you get nowhere. That's the gentler side of business, isn't it? Yes. But yeah, that's why it takes work, is because it's not as easy as it looks on the surface to be good at what we do. And so it takes a lot of studying and reading and learning and experimenting.
Right. One more time. Why?
Because if you don't, then your clients will get into deep poo-poo with Google, and they could lose their businesses, and they could have their whole lives go completely to hell if you don't. And every corner that you cut as a provider, you're cutting for your clients, and in our instance, with what we do, that can cost people their business.
Thanks.
There you go, people.
All right. Okay, so it's now time to move towards asking Terry these same questions. But before we do, I just want to make the announcement that this week's Network Roundtable has been brought to you by the letter E and the word effectiveness. And if you don't get that joke, you haven't watched enough Sesame Street. All right. So, Terry, who are you?
I would say part of me is a teacher, being like that for a long time. I started as a chef, and that's how that trade gets passed down. I think that's part of the problem with the industry that Dave and I are in, is nothing really gets passed down from, from teacher to student. It's all either paid or, so I like to think of myself as a teacher. I believe that if you don't share knowledge, it has zero value.
Okay, now it's going to get confusing because the last part added a prong, and you get to decide which prong I'm asking why about. So, why?
Why? Because I want to leave this industry better than I found it.
Why?
Because it's how I make my living. You should be proud of what you do, not afraid to talk about it, which is very much the case in what Dave and I do.
Why?
Why? I could say it's because there's so much misinformation there. Even the people that want to do a good job can't, because, you know, they're constantly juggling what's right and what's, you know, bullshit, BS, basically. I don't know what your thoughts are on swearing, so I had to stop myself there. Dave and I are a little more lenient on our programs.
You know, it happens. That's
cool.
our philosophy. So, yeah. Okay. I'm not going to torture you by asking you why one more time, though I am intrigued to ask that. But I'm going to turn the mic over to Kristen Drysdale, and she's going to ask you.
This is where the softer side comes in, because something about what you said just like made me start tearing up all of a sudden. Like I'm like here, like, crying. I'm like, oh my gosh, really, this is scary. And I'm like, yeah, I know. But
I don't know about you guys. The only thing I got out of that is that she's emotional and touched by the conversation about SEO. That's basically what I got there. So, yeah, SEO can make a lot of grown men cry, but not for the same reason Kristen's crying.
I also got from that it might be time for a new internet supplier.
Yeah, that's another one. Okay, so are you going to ask the question?
yeah, I did. I said, who are you, Terry?
Who am I? I would say I'm, when you're a teacher, you're always seeking knowledge. So I'm a seeker of knowledge. When I first started in this business, I probably read 2 to 3 hours every morning. Now I just read what's passed around in the dojo and give my comments of why, you know, good, bad, or indifferent. A lot of indifference lately, eh, Dave?
Why?
Why? Again, want to learn as much as I can. I think, you know, any job where you're not learning all the time. You know, I worked in a factory for about 8 months and decided I would never, ever, ever do this again. I don't like the feeling of being a cog in the machinery, if you know what I mean.
Why?
Why? Because every person is creative. I gotta be creative, or
Why?
I get bored stiff if I don't.
That's about as much as I think you can break that one down.
Yeah.
That's short and sweet, and that's what you got.
I mean, we could ask him why he gets bored stiff, but
Because you
I think
got bored. I understand. My ADD brain gets that.
Yeah. There's really not much depth to I get bored stiff.
You have broken it down to the most basic part that you can break it down to. Thank you. Namaste.
That's basically the way I am, too.
But then I have a question. Terry, who are you?
Oh, the bane of your existence.
Why?
Because I can.
Why?
I don't know. You love it. I know it.
Why? You have to have another.
You owe one more why there, David.
Come on, why? Why is it that
Got
you
nothing better to do.
You went from making me cry about your teacher answer to I get bored and because I can. That's awesome.
There we go. All right, so that's this week's Who Are You? These are our guests. Really looking forward to digging into effectiveness this week as one of our core values. And you can join us this Friday, 9:02 Mountain Standard Time. And we will be talking about effectiveness with +1 superhero David and +1 sidekick Terry. And actually, co-host number 2 is going to be Kristen this week. So, and Kristen, who's our co-host number 1 again? Remind me.
John Moore.
John Moore.
John Moore, yes.
Some might know him as Marilyn Moore's husband.
Yeah. So basically what we've got happening this week is something that has yet happened on Network Roundtable. We have more men than we have women on the panel. But not only that, we got more Canadians, eh?
Oh, yeah, you know, eh?
Oh, yeah, you know, eh?
You know.
Oh, yeah, so this can be interesting, eh?
Lots of back bacon and beer on Friday. Come get some.
Exactly, because I'll tell you what.
Go out, just ride your sled. Just bring your sled, it's okay.
Just bring your sled, because there's nothing more effective than back bacon and beer, eh? Okay, sorry. We went a little off the rails. See you Friday, Network Roundtable. Thank you so much for joining us for the Who Are You show, and we'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.